So we should go for that.
Sir, there are two, three things which I would like to highlight here.
Yeah,
When we say that R square should be high, it means you are comparing models. Okay. And the model which is having highest high R square, you will select that model. Okay. Otherwise, for going in the regression analysis in time series, we have to check the assumptions whether our series is meeting assumptions or not. If assumptions are not met, which is the topic of this session, we cannot go for OLS. अभी जो हमने OLS लगाया, ये तो सिर्फ OLS लगाने का तरीका सीखा कि OLS कैसे लगाते हैं और क्या हमको रिजल्ट्स देता है और क्या
exactly.
हमको वैल्यूज चेक करनी है. लेकिन क्वेश्चन तो अभी भी घूम करके वहीं आ गया, क्या हम OLS लगा सकते हैं?
Yes, sir.
तो ये हमें इस सेशन में सीखना है कि क्या हमको OLS लगाना चाहिए या नहीं. Should we apply
Exactly.
OLS or not? So after this session, I think you will be able to,
Hmm.
explain all these things. I would
Exactly.
like to say.
मतलब उसमें सर ये है कि हमें ओएलएस लगा लेना चाहिए और उसके बाद चेक करना चाहिए कि एजम्पशन अगर फुलफिल हो रहा है तो उसको रिपोर्ट
No,
करें,
no,
नहीं तो
no,
फिर
no,
हमको
sir. No, no, sorry, sir. First,
नहीं नहीं,
you
मैंने
have to.
सर ये बोला, मैंने ये बोला कि ओएलएस लगाना चाहिए, फिर
हम्म,
उसके बाद उसके एजम्पशन चेक करना चाहिए, तो अगर एजम्पशन फुलफिल हो रहे हैं।
नहीं सर, नहीं, मैं वही कह रहा हूँ. फर्स्ट वी शुड चेक द assumptions of OLS in our data.
जी सर।
Okay, then we should go for OLS. It means some assumptions will be checked after application of OLS itself.
एग्जैक्टली
But we
वही।
cannot say that this OLS will work for us until
ओके
unless the assumptions are met out.
ओके
So in
ओके।
financial data, stationarity is a main culprit. So if
एग्जैक्ट।
data is not stationary, we cannot go for this.
ओके ठीक है
Uh,
सर, थैंक यू।
so so हम समझेंगे सर कि कौन
यस
कौन
सर।
से assumptions है. So I am just waiting. मैडम हैं जिन्होंने एक्सेल के बारे में पूछा था, मैं बताना चाहता था. कोई नहीं, मैं आपको जो लाइनेस्ट फंक्शन था, आई एम टेलिंग अबाउट दैट. ओके
Sir, one more thing that I am not able to check the data analysis in that Excel.
मैडम,
How we can?
दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज आस्किंग फॉर दैट ओनली.
Yes, sir. I have tried
जस्ट
actually during this half
no,
an hour session.
I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing. Just a minute. I'm rejoining. Okay, please be here. I'm rejoining.
Okay, sir.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Some issue in the browser. So okay, so are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
यस सर।
sir.
So first the question how to get this data analysis function, that Linus function, then we will complete it. You go to file, then you will find options. Okay, go to options, select add-in, and at the bottom manage add-in in Excel. Then go, you will find analysis tool pack VBA. Check it and then okay. Madam, are you able to find it?
Sir, please repeat this.
Go to file,
Which window are you using? Which version of window are you using?
So 7.
Okay, so you must have one circle at the left top corner. 4 colors are there. Left upper corner, extreme corner. Do you have? Hello, madam, are you able to listen?
Yes, sir.
You have that?
Mm,
Okay. What you do? You share a screen later on after the completion of the session. I will tell you. Okay.
okay, sir. No issue.
Okay. So I will tell you. So we were talking about Linux function. So are you? Is my Excel file visible to you? Is my Excel file visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will apply Linux function. So what we need to do? What we need to write is equal to Linux. Okay. Is equal to Linux. We will start bracket. This will ask known y's. Then you have to define which is your y, RIL or BSc, whatever you want to take. If I take RIL, then this will be value of x. Then put comma. Then values of known x, whatever is your x, select the value of x. So I will select the value of x. Then double comma, 2 commas. Then write true, TRUE, true. Okay. Then enter. So what will you get? Only one value you got it. But I want all these values. What will I do? I will select the columns, 10 columns. Sorry, 2 columns, 10 cells, 5 cell in one column and 5 cell in another cell. Now I put my cursor in the address bar here. Then what will I press? I will press Control Shift Enter, and all values I will get. Should I repeat it? Should I repeat it?
Yes, sir, please.
Madam, is equal to Linux. Okay. Start bracket. Then select the known values of y, whatever y you think. If I think y is my BSc or I think RIL. So suppose I think my y is RIL. Select all values here, put comma, then select the values of x. So if RIL is y, then BSc is my x. I have selected this value. Then I will put double comma. Okay, double comma. Then I will write Q, TRUE. Bracket close, enter. You will get only one value. Then what you need to do? You have to select 10 cells, 5 cells in this column and 5 cells in this column. Okay, you have selected these. After selection, go to this address bar, function bar, enter here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now press Control Shift Enter. So you will get all the values. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So this was the pending topic in the previous class. Now I'm starting the class again with that. Okay. So let's see what we have. Okay, so let's see. So always start with a smiling face. If you are smiling, then you will be able to learn. I will keep the pace fast in this lecture. I have to cover a content. So first, something to enjoy. You can enjoy this regarding this significance. So start with the food for mind. The laws of nature are but the mathematical thoughts of God. Okay. So what next? We were here. Next is let's address 2 issues. First, how to report the results. Regulation we have calculated. but sometimes it is the great concern how to report the results. What should we report in the question paper? Oh, sorry, research paper, etc. For instance, this is the result, and we have to report in the research paper. So we will first report the underlying theory. What is the theory? What is the theory? On what basis we are doing this work? Then second, testable model. What was my model? Okay, y is equal to x alpha plus x1 beta x2 beta is like that. Third, the sample size. What was my sample size? Fourth, estimated equation of regression. Then fifth, standard errors of the estimated parameters of the model. Or sixth, standard error of regression. So this I need to report. If I will report this, the reviewer of my paper will generate the required information from these things, these 6 things. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next.
Yes.
What next? Determinants of the beta of Maruti. You can.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I have just one question. So for
Yeah, please.
example, if we are running in multiple regression,
Yeah.
and if one of the variable is insignificant, overall the model is significant, but if one of the variable is insignificant, so we should report that independent variable in equation also.
Sir, you can check by dropping this variable whether your results improved or not.
Okay.
If results improved, better to drop that variable. Otherwise, if results get disturbed, then include that variable in your study and report that this variable is insignificant. And you have to, follow the previous studies also. If they are saying that this variable is significant and this is coming insignificant in your study, you have to report. You must report that as per literature this was significant, but as per my data, because you are working on a certain data. Okay, so as per my data, this is insignificant, or this may be significant at 1%, 5%, or maybe on 10%. Some variables are significant at 1%, some are at 5%, and some are on even on 10%. So you can report like that. But in case of management studies, we generally follow 5%. Okay, but you can report at 10% also. I hope it's clear. So, clear, sir? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Sir, so if you are clear, then indicate me. Okay, so determine the beta of Maruti. You have one file Maruti. You can check it. For this, I should use beta of NSC or BSc. Like if I am, calculating the beta of Maruti, should I use NSC data or BSc data? Yeah, tell me which data I should use.
Anyone, sir?
Anyone?
Yes, because both are recognized indices.
Yeah, sir. But if you are collecting the data of Maruti from one database or one stock market, and data of another market you are comparing with the data of Maruti, then I think it will be some problem.
Some difference will be there, but no marginal difference, because
marginal will be there, but
yes,
you have to justify why you have chosen different.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You are taking prices of Maruti from BSc and comparing with NSC.
Yes,
then you have to justify.
Okay,
Otherwise,
sir.
you should use the same.
Sir, what is beta for the timing?
Beta is the slope, sir. Slope.
Okay, understood.
The parameters to be looked at. You are getting results. What parameters you will look at? You will look at R square. You will look at standard error of regression. You will look at F value from the ANOVA table. You will see the significance of coefficients of the variables. So these first 3 are the overall model fit, and fourth one is your individual fit. So you have to check for all these things after this. So let's see, get deeper understanding. Just a minute. Yes. So some. Okay. So let's see. I think I have to. Okay. So now it's better. Okay. So you can test your file, testing time. You can test your file and you can get the results. I have some results. These results may not be, you know, similar to the Maruti or getting deeper understanding. So when we insert one more variable, I would like to, tell you something. When we insert one more variable, so this will be the problem. This will be the problem means the variance explained by one independent variable. When I insert another independent variable, so another independent variable will also explain some variance which has already been explained by the first variable, first independent variable. So this we need to understand, and in panel we will discuss a lot about this in econometrics. So single index model is return is equal to alpha plus beta. RM means return of market plus return. So this is model. This gives us systematic and unsystematic risk. So these are the results of Maruti. May not be same because here only 255 observations have been taken. I think in file more than this observation. So are you able to make some sense out of it? Hello?
Yes, sir. Only 29.7%.
29.7%
has been explained.
Yes.
The change has been explained
Yes.
in the stock price of Maruti by extent of 30% or 29.7% by the index.
Yes. And standard error is 0.016, which is very less. We cannot say minimum because we are not comparing with another model. So, but this is very less, very low. Now see the regression values of sum of square of regression. This is 0.027. Residuals have 0.064. Total is 0.092. So this is the measure of overall fit, and this is the measure of individual fit. This is the coefficient. This is beta. Sir, you were asking. This is beta. And is the beta significant or not? We can see with the help of p-value. But my question is, from the given results, regression find out measure of systematic risk, total systematic risk, proportion of systematic risk, normalized systematic risk, total risk, or unsystematic. So basically, I want to calculate three risks from here. One is systematic, unsystematic, and total risk. So what is systematic risk? So total systematic risk will be, sum square of regression divided by number of observations minus 1. It means degree of freedom. So total observation is 255. So if I divide this value by 254, this will be your systematic risk, and this is total risk, and this is unsystematic risk, which we have not explained. So I hope it's clear.
Sir, can you please explain the risk part once again, sir? Please, sir.
Sir, I can. So this is the sum square of regression. If I divide this by the number of observation minus 1, it means 255 minus 1, 254. So this number will be divided by 254. Then this will be systematic risk. This is unsystematic risk in the same way, and this is the total risk in the same way. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So let's move ahead. What next? Life is full of challenges. So now it's time to take challenge that come in way of financial modeling. So financial modeling is yi is equal to alpha plus beta x1 plus error term, I is equal to y to n, maybe any number of variables. So this is the regression equation. So this must be linear, and this should cover all the observations, and the variance should be minimum. So linearity versus linear in variables versus linearity in parameters. So variables are y or x, and parameters are alpha and beta. So both should be in linearity. So please remember the term linear regression will always mean regression that is linear in parameters, not in the variables, because the value of variables is given, already given. You know y or x. You are calculating only parameters. So linearity must be present in the case of parameters, alpha and beta. So these are the some equation formation chart. If you want linear, then yi is equal to alpha plus beta x plus error. In this equation, slope is beta. If you want to use reciprocal, then 1 by x, the beta will be 1 by x square. Log, take log of y, take log of x. Log linear, take log of y, linear x. Linear log, y is linear, log will be of x. Log inverse, log of y, and inverse of x. I hope, sir, who was asking about, sir, I could not recall your name.
Vikram.
Vikram, sir. Sir, in this way you can check, okay, whether you want to take log, and we will discuss on these later.
Sure.
So this was the part left from the previous session. I have covered it. Till now, if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I am going to the second session. Yes, please. Any question? Any question?
No,
If
sir.
you have, yeah. Thank you.
No, sir. No, sir.
Thank you very much. So let's start with the second session, that is violation of assumptions of OLS. What if violations of assumptions, we have violated assumptions, what will be the meaning, and how we will check them, and how to deal with them? All things will be covered in this session. So assumptions, what is the meaning of assumption? Never make them. Reality is always much worse. Okay. So what is the meaning of violation? Violation of assumption of classical regression model. Can you interpret this picture? Is this violation or not?
Yes, sir. Penalty is
Yes,
there.
sir. Yes, sir.
Violation of assumption is there or not? You are assumed to wear seat belt or helmet and nowadays mask. If you violate that assumption, then penalty. And in this case, penalty is in the form of fine. But in our case, what will be the penalty? We have to see. So let's quickly recall the assumptions for classical regression model. We have discussed a lot about this. So basic assumptions.
Sir, can you please make it full screen, sir?
Okay.
It will be more visible then.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So I hope it's visible, or should I pin it?
Now it is far better, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you can run the presentation instead of showing in the editable mode.
Madam, some graphical functions take time in that. I have tried that. Because some graphics are not working in that. Okay, I am trying again. No issue. If problem persists, we will see it again. So let's quickly recall assumptions. Classical regression model. What were the assumptions? Can you recall? First one, zero mean.
Zero means of all residuals.
Homoscedasticity, non-autocorrelation of covariances, non-correlatedness of regressor and disturbances term, normally distributed error term, non-stochastic regressor, value of x is a known constant in the probability distribution of y, and x's are not linear function of other explanatory variables. So let's see what will happen if we are violating these. So our discussion on violation assumption will be as per following structure. What is the structure? we will discuss what is it means, what is the meaning of, assumption, what it is, we will discuss first. Next, what are the consequences if we are not meeting it? What are the consequences? Next is how to detect it, how to find it out, and how to take care of violation. We will discuss in this way for every assumption. So are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
because I have what I mean to say, I have full screen of PPT, so I'm not able to see you whether you are in the class or not. Class means in the session or not. So I cannot see. That's why please say yes or no after some time so that I can. Sometimes because of network issue, if connection is disconnected, so I'm not able to check it. Please tell me. Okay. So violation number 1. What is violation number 1? Error term does not have zero mean. If we are not having zero mean, so we are violating our assumption or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh? So what should I do? What should I do? And how to check it and how to deal with it? So let's see. What is it? It means that expected values of error is not zero. Expected value means mean.
Yes, sir. Mean should be zero.
Is not zero. So what are its consequences? If mean is not zero of error term, what will be the consequence? Let's see. Error term does not have a zero mean. If a constant term is included in the regression model, then this assumption will never be violated. Hence, we should not worry about it. Vikram sir. Vikram sir.
Yes, sir, I'm there. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So if zero mean is not there, the mean of just a minute.
I think
Whether the mean of correct. Now it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Now it's audible. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's see. So if we have introduced constant term in our equation, then we need not to worry about the mean to be zero. Okay. I think this.
Your presentation is not visible.
Yes, I'm doing that, sir. Once the connection is reconnected, then this problem will be there.
Now it is coming. Now it is clear.
So, okay. So it's clear. I hope so. I hope so. It's clear. So if we introduce alpha, then we need not to worry about this term. Okay.
So the constant means that you are talking about intercept also, no?
Intercept. That is intercept only.
Exactly.
I'm talking only in terms of intercept only.
Okay.
So in equation, and that is our choice. So that is not mandatory in the equation. If we want to introduce constant means intercept, this is our choice. If we want, we can. If we do not want, we cannot. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if we introduce that, this will take care of zero mean. But if regression model does not require the intercept and the error term is having non-zero mean, then it may lead to severe biases in slope coefficient estimates. Got the point? Suppose your equation does not require intercept. You do not want to introduce intercept, okay? And your error terms are not having zero mean, then it will create problem. It will create biases in the coefficient. the effect of non-zero will be shown in the slope coefficients. Okay. So how to detect it? Whether my error term has zero mean or not. Let's see. If the estimated model is having intercept, then there is no issue. This we have discussed. How then? And if the model is having no intercept, then we can simply perform hypothesis testing with null hypothesis. The mean of error term is 0 and use t-test. You can use t-test. With the help of t-test, you can see whether the mean is 0 or not. You can check for the residuals for the error term. You collect error terms and check with the help of t-test whether your mean is 0 or not. T-test tells us about this only, whether mean is 0 or not. So this will be tested with the help of t. Now, how to take care of such violation? We have already discussed about. Always prefer to use a model with intercept. Always try to use a model with intercept. So first violation is clear. Any doubt in first violation?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
It's clear. Anybody else? If you have any doubt.
So one question, sir.
Yeah, please.
So one question. So
Please.
sometimes in the regression, when we are doing through Excel, it says set intercept equal to 0. What does that mean, sir?
Intercept is equal to 0 means there is no intercept in your model. You do not want to introduce intercept. Then check it.
So would that be a violation of this one? I mean, I'm not very
No,
clear.
no,
You
sir,
made a very nice. You made a very
Sir.
nice observation that if the intercept is there, it means this condition is not violated.
Yes, sir. But we will prefer the model with intercept to take care of this violation. We should have intercept.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We should have.
And
Otherwise,
the intercept could be both positive or negative depending on the data.
any. That
Okay,
is not a worry
Thank you,
for
sir.
us. But we should have intercept. But if you are of the opinion that I do not want intercept in my model, then you have to check whether your error terms are having 0 mean or not. If you have intercept, you need not to check even for the error term they have 0 mean or not.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. Next is violation number 2. Error term does not follow normal probability distribution. What will happen if your error term does not follow normal probability distribution? What is it? See, it is assumed that error terms follow normal probability distribution, and violation of it will mean that error terms do not follow normal probability distribution. So I hope meaning is clear. What are the consequences? What are the consequences? So its consequences is that we are not able to use t-test, f-test, and chi-square distribution for hypothesis testing and interval estimation. If you have seen the analysis of t-test, f-test, and chi-square, all of them have the prerequisite that your error term should normally be distributed. Okay, so if that is not normally distributed, then you cannot apply these tests. If this assumption is not true, then our estimates will still be blue. Best linear unbiased estimators. But we would find difficulty in performing hypothesis testing and interval estimation. So estimates are blue, but we cannot perform hypothesis testing. In previous class, in previous session, in the last, we have discussed in what cases we perform hypothesis testing. So if this estimation is not met out, we will not go for hypothesis testing. Clear? Next is how to detect it, how to find it out. So error term does not follow normal probability distribution. One can see or judge whether error terms follow normal probability distribution by using basic statistics. You calculate simply error terms and plot them. In SPSS, you can go and graph QQ plot, PP plot. You can make histogram, simple histogram in Excel. You can calculate KMO, test of goodness of fit. You can go for JB test, Jarque-Vera test. These tests will tell you whether your error term are normally distributed or not. But in financial data, we go, with the help of JB test.
Sir, I have a question. Like
Yeah.
this Jarque-Vera test, we will be doing it for residuals, no? That we
Yeah,
will be doing.
all the tests we will be doing for residuals, because
Okay.
we are talking the violation of residuals only.
Okay, okay. So then
We
what
are,
will,
yeah,
yeah,
whatever we are discussing violation, maximum of them are related with the residuals only.
okay.
And
So,
No, sir, I think his question was whether Jarque-Vera test can be used for normability testing of other data
Sir,
also. Yes.
Test will not restrict you to input the data. Whatever data will you give as input, the test will give you some result.
Yes,
But
sir.
here, in this case, we are talking about residuals only.
Right. But his
So,
question, I think, was for
yeah,
general, whether
yeah.
it can be used for
No,
normability test.
sir.
The answer is yes.
Sir, these tests are for normality distribution, normal
Right, sir.
probability
Right.
distribution. So
Right, sir.
if you want to give the data of one variable, this will give you the result. It
Yes,
will
sir.
tell
Yes.
you whether data is normally distributed or not.
Yes,
But
sir.
now, in this case, our concern is to check the normal probability distribution of residuals error term
Right,
on.
Understood,
But
sir.
okay, sir.
test will give you the result for any data.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
this we will be doing afterward. Matlab, this test will we will be practicing it out, no?
Sir, we will be practicing out homoscedasticity because in time series data we are concerned more about that.
Okay. So one only request, what will be the null hypothesis for Jarque-Vera test then?
Sir, data is normally distributed.
Okay, data is dominant. Okay, sir,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. Okay.
Okay. So how to take care of such violation? If your data means your error term is not normally distributed, how to take care of it? So it's non-normal probability distribution of error term is time series concern for researcher. Let's see, very simple. No, if sample size is large, the central limit theorem will come in for our rescue. So if our data, our sample size is large, we are not bothered about the normal distribution of our error term. Okay, generally it will come to the normality, but still, if data set is large, we are not bothered about it. That's why we are not so much of worry about the normal distribution of error term. If data set is large, if data set is very low, then we must go for it. It will
Sir,
not be. Yeah.
Sir, how to define large in subjective term in series data more than 30, sir?
Sir, generally we say that more than 30, but this is purely subjective.
Okay,
Like
sir.
purely subjective, like if I am, doing a study on some interview with vice chancellors. Okay, some interview with vice chancellors. So I think data set of 40, 50 will be more than enough. Okay, if I'm taking the data of management students, data of 40, 50, I cannot say that this is the enough data. So
Okay, correct.
I think this is a relative matter. So
Correct, sir.
yeah, and it will depend upon population also and reach how easily you can reach.
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
So next is it will not be of any concern if we are interested only in estimates, especially the point estimate and future prediction. Nothing beyond that. If we are predicting and for future and we are estimating, we need not to worry about the normal distribution of error terms. If the sample size is small, then one may eliminate any outlier because in the case of error term is not normally distributed. It means some outlier is there. So you can remove that outlier. You can get the idea of outlier by the box plot. If it exists, it may ensure normal probability distribution of your error terms. Some transformation of data may also ensure normality of error terms. Vikram sir, the chart which we have discussed, you can take log, you can
Yes,
take
sir.
difference, you can take inverse. So these transformations will also be helpful for taking care of this non-normal probability distribution of error term. Sir,
Yes.
hopefully I am clear about this.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
sir,
Yes,
my
sir.
question, sir, my question is, sir, in time series data, can we remove the outliers? Sir, it will not affect the series, sir?
Sir, in time series data, we will go for transformation.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Otherwise,
Yes.
information lost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
Okay.
Correct, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we generally do not go for that. But if you say can we can.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So meet Mr. Ecotex. So what is Ecotex? Let's develop a model to predict sales. So this is sales in thousands. This is the data points. This graph like that. So red line is a predicted sale, but actual sales is like that. So can you interpret this graph? Any conclusion out of that? Just like
Yeah,
that.
there is an increasing trend in sales.
Increasing trend.
Increasing trend. Okay.
Upward sloping, sir.
Yeah, upward.
With large variations in the later part of the data.
The
Large
variance are not constant.
variance are not constant. So if variance are not constant, let's see what to do. So should I move ahead or you have any concern?
No, sir.
Okay. So sir, you cannot do this as a there is a problem. In this certain problem is there. So what should I do? So let's see what is the problem with this boy is seeing in it. What problem we were talking about? We were talking about
Heteroscedasticity, sir.
okay. So let's see. So imagine these two results are there. These two results are there. Sir, first one is sales. Second one is log sales. See the standard error. Here the standard error of regression is 4159. Here 0.2784. What's the mystery? What is the mystery? Yeah, your comments are required here. Please. Go ahead.
Error are gone down in the second, in which we have taken the log of sales,
Yeah.
and there is standard error is very high on the first part where we have not taken the log of the sales.
Yes.
Actually, in my opinion, the data, I think in the next part, it has been transformed from dynamic data to stationary data.
Sir, we have taken log series. Still, we have not checked the data is stationary or not. Only we have taken log. And standard error of regression. This data points are far away from this predicted sales. Okay.
Right.
So if we are taking log, I hope this will be taken care. This error has been reduced. The standard error has significantly been reduced. But we cannot say that this model is far better than this because in both model probability of constant and your time both are significant. But we have many parameters to see. One of them is the standard error. Another one is on individual basis this probability of these coefficients. So I hope transformation will take care of this.
Sir, can I know what should be the minimum value of standard error beyond which we should treat it as significant?
Sir, there are two terms which cannot be defined. Okay. One is minimization and another one is maximization.
Okay.
One is minimization, another one is maximization. So when we say minimum, it means we are comparing. If we have two models in front of us, we are comparing and we can say this is better model because the standard error of regression is less than this.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So in isolation, we cannot say that this is the standard error, this is minimum. Okay, some
Okay,
other
sir.
model may have less than this.
But sir, on standalone basis,
Yeah.
should we compare it with some value like in KMO test? We say that if it is more than 0.5, then data sufficient, sample data is sufficient. But in this case, in the case of standard error, can we say something like that?
Sir, we see on comparable basis only.
Okay, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay.
Not on,
If we are transforming series, if we are taking more variables as independent, if we are dropping variables from, this is an art, not a science.
okay, understood, sir.
Okay.
Just I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Sorry, sir.
No issue. So it takes us to, so discussion is not yet complete. It takes us to where? Violation number 3, variance of error term is not constant. Okay. So all these discussions which we were doing here, this will take to the assumption number 3, and this is variation of error term is not constant. So variation in error term is not constant. So what is it? What does it mean? The variance of error term in a regression model is not allowed to vary. So it should not vary. So it is assumed that error term has a constant variance, and this assumption is known as assumption of homoscedasticity. Now understand the term homoscedasticity. What is the meaning of homoscedasticity? It means that with change in observations, the variation in error term should not change. Its variation should remain constant and does not have any tendency of any kind of trend. The error term should not have any trend. It should not have, it should have constant variance. So what if I predict and for future, and in future my error term has heteroscedasticity? So my predictions will not work. My predictions will not be good. So we have to check about this. For this we will do exercise, because in time series this is very useful assumption and we must meet it. We will do. What will you say about this? Is this homoscedastic or heteroscedastic?
Hetero, sir.
Hetero.
So
Sir, first we have to see the trend line, sir.
No, where is the trend line?
Homoscedasticity.
Homoscedastic.
No, sir. Suppose at the level of 0 point on the y scale, if we draw a parallel line to x-axis, and if we can say that those points are not far off from the central line, tendency line, then we can say homoscedasticity.
Sir, I will not draw a line diagonal here. I have drawn two lines here. One is upper red line and second one is lower red line. And all the observations of my residuals are within these two lines except this one, and they have scattered everywhere within these two lines.
Then we can say homoscedasticity because these are within control limits.
Yeah, I cannot see any trend in them. They are not rising, they are not declining, they do not have. Okay, so next, let's see. What does it mean? These are the error terms.
Yes.
And they are heteroscedastic. They have trend. They are heteroscedasticity. There is a heteroscedasticity. They are having trend. They are going like that. Okay, and variance here is very less, and here variance is very high. Are you able to make it? Let's see some. Let's see some more graphs. Yeah, please see. All of them are heteroscedasticity graphs. Okay. Are you able to see? Are you make sense?
Yes.
Are you making any sense?
Yes, sir.
So is it clear?
Yeah, very
I need other participants also to take part in the discussion. Until unless you will discuss, you will not, appreciate things. Whatever doubt you have in your mind, please ask. If I do not have any answer to that doubt, but I will make sure that you will get the answer to that doubt. Please ask any kind of doubt. Do not hesitate. You are here to learn. If you are not learning, if you are not getting, if you are carrying doubts after the session, you are not getting anything. Please,
Sir,
please take part. Please ask. Yes, yes, sir.
sir, in the first quarter, the trend line is downwards and the observations are scattered around that line. So there is no such
This one, sir. This one.
Downward, sir.
Downward.
Below that,
Yes,
below that, sir.
yes.
So,
So,
below that, sir. In this case,
Yes.
can we say that it is tending to be more of homoscedasticity?
No, sir. Because there is a trend declining over the time period. Sir, let's see. This observation is here. This
Yes, sir.
observation is here. This declining. Let's see.
Okay.
This
okay.
observation is here. This observation is here. This observation is here. This observation declining. So there is a
Okay.
trend and they are declining over a time period. Okay.
Okay, sir. Understood. Understood. So we have to see the observations.
Yes. So heteroscedasticity, what and why should I bother about it? Why should I bother about it? So what are its consequences? Let's see. Concern of heteroscedasticity.
Hello.
What? Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sorry to interrupt, sir. So, sir, I had a doubt. So, sometimes after running the regression model, we find that the intercept term is insignificant. That is, a p-value is insignificant or less than, insignificant. So, like, does it mean that that mean will also be zero? Mean will also not be zero?
Sir, this does not mean, because if we introduce intercept, whether it is significant or not, it will take care of the zero mean of our residuals or error terms. It will take care. If we are not introducing intercept in our model, then we must check the zero mean of disturbances, error terms, or residuals, whatever we call them. But we must check. If we are introducing intercept, whether it is
Okay, thank you.
significant or not, we should not take care of it. Okay, sir. So, what heteroscedasticity does not impact. So, if we have heteroscedasticity in our data, ordinary least square estimators will still be linear. If there is heteroscedasticity in, data in residuals, our estimators will be still linear. Ordinary least square estimators are still be unbiased and consistent even if we have heteroscedasticity. So means they are unbiased, they are consistent, they are linear, but what? They are not efficient. If error terms are not homoscedastic, then our results, our estimates are not efficient. They are linear, they are unbiased, they are consistent, but they are not efficient. So we should see the properties of blue: best, linear, unbiased estimator. So they are not efficient. They are best, they are linear, they are unbiased, they are efficient, but they are not best because they are not efficient. So what are the consequences? Let's see, and we will check them with the practice exercise also. The estimates of standard errors will become biased and unreliable when heteroscedasticity is present. Now tell me, what does it mean? Please take part in the discussion. What does it mean?
We will be not able to do the hypothesis
The
testing.
model will not be fit enough.
Model will not be fit enough. Whatever we will predict for future,
Yes, sir.
that will not work. that will not predict with accuracy. So
Yes, sir.
this leads to problem in hypothesis testing about estimators and other statistics and confidence intervals. To be precise, we can have linear unbiased estimators, but not blue estimators. So again, let's see. As well-known econometricians, Allison puts the consequences of heteroscedasticity in a right way as thus. So the reason OLS is not optimal when heteroscedasticity is present is that it gives equal weights to all observations when, in fact, observations with larger disturbances variance contains less information than observations with smaller disturbances variance. What do you understand with this statement?
Okay.
सर इसका
This
मतलब ये
That
होता है
means
कि
data points having large variance, they are also equally weighted.
equally weighted. Okay? But they are not so important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They are not so important. They are
वो कहते हैं गधे और घोड़े दोनों मिक्स हो गए.
Sir, those who are away from the line, they are not so important. They will not help us in prediction. Because if there is one outlier, even one outlier, that will be given equal weightage. But that is not so important for prediction. Okay? Okay, so I move ahead.
But sir, in that case, we have to calculate variance also, sir? Or it is visible from the scatter diagram only?
Sir, for
Variance of those observations which are of insignificant value.
Sir, for this heteroscedasticity, we have inbuilt function in our eViews. We will be doing within next 5 to 10 minutes. So
okay, sir.
We need not to worry about that.
Okay, sir.
To be precise, yeah, please.
What if we remove all the outliers in the beginning and then we start building the model?
Madam, how will you come to know about outliers in the case of secondary data? In primary data, you can easily find out, but in secondary data, if you will remove, I think half of the data, or maybe sometimes 10% or 20% data will be removed, and that will be removed from certain observations, time or date or some other points. How will you justify that?
Using the formula that we have for IQR, that we cannot, I mean, it is not wise to do this for secondary data.
Ma'am, suppose you have stock prices, okay, for 1 year, and you are seeing that there is a sudden change in between.
Okay.
So what will you do? Will you remove that data?
No, in that case we should not, because that is also
we have certain
actually.
We have certain other methods to deal with such data.
Okay, all right.
We have certain other methods to deal with that data. That will be covered in time series itself.
Okay.
We will understand the data generating process, how data has been generated, what is the process behind this, and how to deal with certain kind of data. Not like that we will leave the trend data. Not like that we will leave the structural break data. We will calculate, but methods for every kind of data is different.
Okay, sir. Right. Thank you.
Okay. So to be precise, heteroscedasticity leads to a very serious problem. Our estimated standard errors are wrong. They are no longer efficient. Our conclusion from hypothesis testing and estimation are wrong. So we should be bothered about it. We should be concerned about it. This should not be violated. Okay. So let's see why heteroscedasticity. So there are several reasons why variance of error will vary. First one is error learning model. As people learn, we expect their errors to become smaller. In this case, the error term should decrease with time. Okay. Next one is, with an increase in income comes an increase in discretionary income. In this case, we expect the error term to increase with the income. Okay, because our expectations are different from actual. If expectations are not met out, then error will be, unexpectedly increasing or decreasing. An improvement in the data collecting technique would cause a decrease in, variance. Why? Heteroscedasticity, some more points. Let's see. Measurement error can cause heteroscedasticity. Some respondents might provide more accurate response than others. This is in case of primary data. When you ask regarding income of respondent, some will say that this is my actual income. Some will say that take any doesn't mean, but that is meaningful for you. Next, sampling strategy can produce heteroscedasticity. Heteroscedasticity can also occur if there are subpopulation differences or other interaction effect of income on expenditure differs for rural people and urban people. Those on larger income can purchase the essential components of food expenditure and will have leftover considerable amount of disposable income. So many reasons to explain here. Heteroscedasticity can arise as a result of existence of outliers, misspecification, skewness in data. So how to detect it? The question is how to find it out whether residuals are homoscedastic or heteroscedastic. Let's see. So one method is graphical method. Take a scatter plot and of residuals against the explanatory variables. So let's see. This is the graph of residuals. Is this homoscedastic? Please tell me. Is this homoscedastic?
No.
No,
Is-
sir.
There is a trend.
Is this? No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Actually, there are trends in those.
Yeah. Now appreciate this. So this is homoscedastic. This is not heteroscedastic. First one, and others are heteroscedastic. You can make difference graphically. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
First one is homoscedastic, means low heteroscedasticity, and others are, heteroscedastic. Now, so these are certain methods by which you can identify, you can check the heteroscedasticity, whether homoscedasticity is present or not, whether heteroscedasticity is there in residuals or not. We will discuss two methods which are widely used in time series. Point number 4, Bruce-Pagan test, and point number 7, the White test. I request participants to mute yourself if you do not have any question. If you have any question, please ask. Any question? We will discuss two tests. One is Bruce-Pagan test, and second one is White test. These two tests are widely used in time series analysis. So
Sir, one test is enough, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Any one test, one method is enough to detect heteroscedasticity, or we have to go for more than one?
No, only one test is enough. But I will discuss two tests here, which are widely used in time series analysis.
Okay.
So let's see, testing heteroscedasticity. So this is Bruce-Pagan test. I will not read it out. These are the steps I will tell you, and this is White test. I will tell you. Go to the file Maruti Suzuki share prices. Okay, you have the file with you. Hello, you have the file with you?
Yes, sir.
Which file? Which
Yes,
file?
Yes, we have.
Open the file Maruti Suzuki share prices. How to open? How to open? I hope you have gone through the eViews videos, introductory videos. 2 videos were there. I hope you have gone through.
Yes, sir.
So simply right click on this Maruti Suzuki share prices file. Okay, and open with. If you have eViews in your system, then it will show the option of eViews. Otherwise, it will not show the option of eViews. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So go to eViews, click on eViews. Okay. So you can directly finish it up, or you can go next, then finish. There is no difference. This is smart enough. Okay. Do know. So are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to see the prices, Maruti prices, BSC, Sensex prices, you can click on this. This will show you the spreadsheet. These are the observations. Always see a spreadsheet before going for any kind of analysis. Sometimes it happens, it will show you NA, and you are trying to apply any test, and this will not give you the result. So always what you need to do, double click on the series, check whether values are there or not. If values are there, then it's okay. Check another series. Okay, this is the values are there. So what we can do with these 2 series, what we can do? Tell me.
So we can run the regression and check the check the homodiscosity with the error terms.
Okay, so first we can run the regression. So what will be my dependent variable and what will be my independent variable? This you need to decide.
Share price of Maruti will be dependent variable.
Okay, and Sensex will be independent.
Yes, sir.
In previous case, one madam has done vice versa and got better results. So this we have to decide what is our objective. Whether I want to check the dependency of Maruti share prices on BSC or BSC share prices on Maruti. This will be defined by my objective. Okay. Any doubt? Any doubt till here?
We can do both, but
no,
it depends on our interest.
That's why I'm telling, sir. That's why I'm telling this will be dependent on your objective.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what should I do? What should I do now? I should run regression. How many ways I have to run regression? Can anybody tell me?
OLS, by going for OLS.
In eViews, how can I run regression? Can anybody tell me?
So we have to go in quick and write equations over there. There is a ribbon, quick.
Okay. Sir, I will tell you some ways how can we calculate. First one is quick. Go to quick, estimate equation. Please see, I'm repeating. Go to quick, then click on estimate equation. This estimate equation pop-up will be there. You can write your equation. What will be your equation? Maruti. Okay. This, if I write first and second letter, first letter also, this will show you the name. Better you click on this. Otherwise, you may commit mistake in writing the name. And try to keep the name as short as you can. Then I want to introduce constant. I will introduce constant.
Sir, can you please zoom the screen a little bit?
Okay.
Yes, because it is a very small font.
Okay. I think you follow the steps with me. You follow the steps with me.
The question was, sir, zooming the screen.
No, I can understand that, but you know, I have zoomed it. I'm pinning it from better. It will give you some. Otherwise, you are with me or not? Tell me.
Yeah, we are with you, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So I hope now it's better. No, it's not better.
Still same.
Still, it is full screen now. Let's see once again. Just a minute. Okay, follow the procedure with me. Go to quick. You can see at the top ribbon, quick. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Click on it. Then estimate equation. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Second last option. Click on it. Have you clicked it? Okay. Then you are able to see this window. Now, what will be your equation? Maruti price
Is equal to constant.
and BSC. Okay.
Yes.
So write Maruti MAR. So it will show you some options. So I will select Maruti, then space, follow with me, space, then C for constant, then space BSC. Are you able to do this?
Sir, we don't have to put equal sign, sir?
No, no sign, no sign. Maruti Suzuki space C BSC Sensex. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to select the method. Are you able to see my cursor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you please sir, can you please copy the syntax and can you paste in the chat box?
Yeah.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
I have done that. So you have to select the method. Which method are we talking about?
OLS.
OLS.
Ordinary least squares.
Least square. But in least square, OLS method. Least square method. By default, least square is there. So I will select least square by default. Okay. So I will click on OK. So results are here. Are you able to do this? Please tell me.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
able to?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is, and what is another way? What is another way? Okay. I'm closing this window. Okay. Just be with me. What is another way? I will tell you the simple way. Select first the dependent variable, then after pressing Control, independent variable. Means you have to select two. First Maruti, then BSC. Okay. First you will select the dependent variable, then you will select the independent variable. Okay. Right click, open as equation. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me? Click on OK.
Yes.
Click on as equation. This will give you the same equation here, but constant at the last. There is no problem. Click on OK. You will get the same result. Okay. Any problem?
No, sir.
No, sir. It's much more easy.
So these are the regression results. We can see our BSC Sensex has a coefficient of 0.502868 and probability of this is 0.000. So this is significant. Constant is also significant, but coefficient is minus 9242. So We have to see standard errors of regression. This is 9 to 1. So this is the interpretation from this. F probability, F statistics is 0.00. So overall, we can say that model is good, but we have to check for heteroscedasticity. Clear? So in this
Please
window,
come again, sir. Please come again, sir.
this model seems to be good enough, but we have to check the heteroscedasticity of error terms. Okay.
Okay. Sir, standard error is very high, sir. What you can say, sir?
Standard error is very high in comparison to what? In comparison, if we have more than one model, we will compare and we will take the model with less standard error. Okay.
Okay. Correct, sir. Correct.
My independent variables are significant. My coefficient is also significant.
Correct, sir.
If this result is visible to you or not? Should we go ahead?
Sir, from here, how do we know about heteroscedasticity, sir?
Sir, patience. Have patience. Have patience.
Achha.
So everybody is with me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you have any problem till now, please tell me. Okay. Now, go to view of these results. Okay, go to view. Have you clicked on view? Have you clicked on view?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can see fourth option, actual fitted residual. Okay, and at the right hand side, actual fitted residual table, actual fitted residual graph. So click on the second one. I'm repeating. Go to view. Go to view. Go to actual fitted residual. Go to actual fitted residual graph. Click on it. Can you see this?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So this blue line is for residuals. This is for actual, and this is for fitted. So fitted is nearby are actual, but residuals are far away from actual and residual, actual and fitted. They are far away. So some problem seems to be here. Okay, but this is graphical. I want to check it vertically, means with the values. So what will I do? Again, I will go to view. From here only you can go to view. Actual fitted residuals. Go to residual table. Did you get this? I think some error. Did you get this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if anybody has not, reached to this point, please let me know. I will repeat it.
Sir, please repeat this. The last
Madam,
column has come.
Go to, no, I will explain this, but you have this window?
Sir, I have that chart. Now how to import it in this column?
No, you need not to import. Go to view, actual fitted residual, and select first option, actual fitted residual value.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So see last point, residual plot. See last columns, residual plot. So these are residuals. Okay, these are residuals. So these two lines, dotted lines, can you see this dotted line and this dotted line? Are you able to see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So these residuals must be within these two lines for homoscedasticity. Must be within these two lines for homoscedasticity. I will scroll it down till now you are able to see homoscedasticity. But see here, crossing the dotted lines, crossing the dotted lines, crossing the dotted lines, crossing the dotted lines. Okay. Are you able to see? So residuals are not homoscedastic, they are heteroscedastic.
Yes, sir. They're out of the range.
Yes. So is it fine?
Yes.
So second method, second graph. Now I have to go for
Sir, can you
Bush-Pagan.
please repeat it once more?
Madam, are you able to see these two dotted lines? One
Yes,
line
sir.
is this, and so this residual plot, this, okay, this must be within these two lines, these two dotted ranges, these two dotted lines for homoscedasticity. If this
What is this range, sir?
range is acceptable 5% limit, that is normally we use.
Okay.
Okay, so graphically we have checked two times, two different graphs we have checked. This residual line has crossed the acceptable limit, so heteroscedasticity. Project. Now come to the point with the help of test. So again go to view. Do it simultaneously. Go to view. Residual diagnostic. Third last option. Residual diagnostic. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
At the right hand side, go to the heteroscedasticity test. Last option. Last option. Okay. Click on it. Click on it. It will ask you to select test. First one is Bush-Pagan. First one is Bush-Pagan. Click OK. Click OK. Some time lag is there. I hope so. Am I connected with you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I hope this result is available with you on screen.
Yes, sir, it is.
There are two tables. There are two tables. We will see only the first table. Okay. And above first table, you see the null hypothesis. What is null hypothesis? Homoscedasticity. So what is the null hypothesis? Homoscedasticity. And you see the values of probability chi-square in table 1. These are 0.000, 0.000. Will be able to accept null hypothesis or reject null hypothesis?
Sir, reject.
Accept.
Reject.
Reject, sir.
Who is saying accept? Make your doubt clear, please.
It is less than significance value, so we have to reject it. F value is
Vibha madam.
Reject, sir.
Any doubt? If the value
No,
is
no.
if the value is less than 0.05, then at 5% significance level, we are able to reject the null hypothesis.
yes, sir.
And what is null hypothesis? Homoscedasticity. If we
Yes,
are
sir.
going to reject homoscedasticity, what does it mean? There is heteroscedasticity in our data, in our
Correct,
residuals.
sir. Correct.
Is it clear?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
So Bush-Pagan test we have done. Now we are going to White test. Same process. Go to view, residual diagnostic. Last option heteroscedasticity test. Select White. Second last option. Select White. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then click OK. Click OK.
In this case also the results is same.
Yeah. In this case also we reject null hypothesis. It means our residuals are not homoscedastic. They are heteroscedastic.
Correct.
So there is a problem. Okay. So estimators will not be efficient. Are you able to appreciate it?
Right, sir. So our assumption number 1 is not satisfied.
Yes. Yes, Sri Lakshmi madam. Want to
Yes,
say
sir.
something?
No, sir.
Okay.
I got.
So any question till now? Any question? Should I move ahead? Yes, please.
Sir,
Yes,
if
sir.
the data is heteroscedastic, then shall we drop the model or do we do something else?
Madam, for that you have to see next PPT. Okay, so PPT is visible.
Yes, sir.
So we have checked whether our data is heteroscedastic or homoscedastic. So data is residuals are heteroscedastic. So how to take care of such violation? Neetu madam? Neetu madam.
Yes, sir.
So answer of your question. How to take care? So first is, there are three approaches to handle heteroscedasticity. One approach is derive consistent estimates of standard error using wide heteroscedasticity, consistent standard error, and covariance. So we need to convert them with the help of wide heteroscedasticity, consistent standard error, and covariance. Second one is, another approach is to use generalized weighted least square method. You must have heard the name of generalized model, GLM, generalized least square model. You must have. We cannot use OLS, ordinary least square. We should go for GLS. Clear? Instead of OLS, we should go for GLS. Third one is deflate variable. Third one is, if you want to still use OLS, deflate variable. How to deflate? Let's see. Deflate variable. This basic objective is tone down the scale of variables. It can be done by taking log. Take the log of your variable. It can also be done by converting nominal values of variables into real values of the variables. So you can transform your series and you can again check. Hopefully you will get the homoscedasticity in the error term. Still you did not get, do not go for OLS, go for GLS. Is it clear?
Yes, can you repeat the last point? How can we convert these nominal values into real values?
Okay, what is the meaning of nominal value?
It is having the category.
Okay, when we say that nominal interest rate and real interest rate.
We are going to do some dummification here.
Yes, you have to.
All right, sir.
So next one is violation number 4. Error terms are correlated. What if error terms are correlated? So error terms in a regression model are not allowed to have any relation. Relation with whom? With each other. They should not be related. So it is assumed that error terms has no correlation among themselves. That is they are independent. It means the covariance among them is 0. 0 covariance must be there. So these are the error terms of E1 and Et plus 1. You have calculated at t means time 0 and time t plus 1. Anytime there is a time difference, and you have calculated 2 error terms. So there should be no correlation. So no pattern in residuals at all. There is no pattern. You cannot say they are correlated. No correlation. And this is what we would like to see. So if error terms are correlated or have covariance among them, which is not 0, then it is called serial correlation or autocorrelation. It is known as serial correlation or autocorrelation. Okay, and this will be taken care in tomorrow's session. We will see what we will do with this. So positive autocorrelation here and here also positive autocorrelation. We can see this. Negative autocorrelation in residuals. So why should I bother about autocorrelation? Concern about autocorrelation. So what autocorrelation does not impact? If we have autocorrelation in our data, ordinary least square estimates will still be linear. They will be linear. Still will be unbiased and consistent, but they will not be efficient. They will not be efficient. So as a consequence, they will not be blue. They will not no longer be blue. So what are the consequences? The estimates of standard error will become biased and unreliable when autocorrelation is present. This leads to problem of hypothesis testing about estimators and other statistics and coefficient intervals, confidence intervals. To be precise, we can have only unbiased, linear, consistent estimator, but not blue estimators because they are not efficient. So why autocorrelation? Why this happens? There may be several reasons due to which autocorrelation term have a relation, like omitted explanatory variable. If we have omitted any variable, misspecification of mathematical form of model, overreaction and inefficiency in financial markets, inter alia of dependent variable. Autocorrelation problem is more observed in time series data rather than cross-sectional data, because in cross-sectional data you collect the data on a single point of time from various cross sections. There is no problem of autocorrelation. But in time series data, you collect the data on a time frame for a particular variable. So this may have the problem of autocorrelation. So how to detect autocorrelation? One method is graphical method. Plot residual against observation or against time series. Scatter plot you can see. So in this case, no autocorrelation. Here, positive autocorrelation. How to detect autocorrelation? You can go for run test, DW test. You can go for this autocorrelation, but we will go with the other tests also, like parallelogram, etc. In ARIMA, in autocorrelation case, we will deal purely autocorrelation case. We will deal in ARIMA. Tomorrow we will do it. So violation number 5: regressors are correlated. Regressors.
Sir, one question, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
Through diagram, how I can detect there is no autocorrelation through graph, sir?
Sir, take the residuals of t and take the residuals of t plus 1. Okay?
No, but how I can interpret this picture, sir? That is no autocorrelation, sir.
In this picture, positive autocorrelation. In this picture, no autocorrelation.
Okay.
In this picture, no autocorrelation.
Getting.
And
Okay.
in this picture, positive autocorrelation.
So still, yeah, is it positive autocorrelation? But if they are okay, they are highly correlated, so they are near to each other. Okay, getting, sir, getting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. We will discuss ARIMA is only for autocorrelation case. So we will discuss that. So violation number 5: regressors are not correlated. They are not allowed to be correlated. So explanatory variables in regression model are not allowed to have any relation. It is assumed that explanatory variable has no correlation among themselves. You are taking x1, x2, x3, x4 as independent variable. If they are highly correlated, this will create a problem to you. So covariance of x1, xj should be 0 for all I and j. So if they have correlation, this will be the problem of multicollinearity, and this will give you the spurious regression. The OLS will still be unbiased, but this will give you the problem. You can check, you can identify this with the help of high R square. If you are getting high R square, say 80%, 90%, you must check for multicollinearity. I will rather say that first check multicollinearity, then go for OLS. If multicollinearity is there, you should not go for OLS before removing the multicollinearity. So how to detect it? We can check it with the help of VIF in SPSS, in emails, in Stata. You can easily calculate VIF. So if VIF is more than 10, we generally see that this variable is autocorrelated, and we should think about this autocorrelation. So value of VIF for particular variable must be less than 10. So in first case, this is 6.94. We can say this is acceptable limit of autocorrelation. But in case of 19 and 29, we have autocorrelation problem. So sorry, multicollinearity problem. So multicollinearity is there. So we have to check. We have to concern about this variable. So solution of multicollinearity: you can ignore multicollinearity. If you think that these variables are very important to my model, you can ignore. You can drop variable which are causing correlation, means multicollinearity. You can transform the variables in log or inverse or any other. You can identify underlying factor, why this multicollinearity is there, and you can remove that multicollinearity. So what next? Next is in my agenda. It's next session. So I hope I am as per my time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We will meet in next session. By the time, if you have any question, within 5 minutes we can solve them.
Sir,
one by one, one by one.
Yes, sir.
Rajesh sir,
Yes,
please.
sir. I learned from one of the lectures that sir, if the two variables having the correlation up to the 0.9, that is okay. If it is more than 0.9 correlation, then that is a problem of multicollinearity. Is it okay, sir?
Sir, sir, which test will tell you the 0.9 and more than 9 value?
Yeah, sir. If I can go with the bivariate correlation, if there is the two variable having the correlation up to 0.9 correlation, at that is okay, up to the 0.90, sir.
Sir,
But if it is, yeah,
sir, I explained the test for multicollinearity, that is VIF. Okay. So
correct, sir.
in case of VIF, if we have value less than 10, then we assume that there is no multicollinearity. If we have more than 10, there is high probability of multicollinearity. So we should think of those factors. So means with the values, with the support of VIF, we can conclude better.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Okay, sir.
Next question.
Sir, I need your suggestion actually. Ki if there are high multicollinearity between three variables, so can I run a factor analysis and make a factor and then run the regression? Is it feasible?
Sir, if you have only 2, 3, 4 variables.
Sir, for example, I have 6 variables. Among of them, 3 have high multicollinearity and rest 3 are okay. So can I run a factor analysis and combine these three factors?
Sir, I got your point, but if you can see the condition of factor analysis is that not condition, but what we have followed in past, at least 3 variables must be in one factor. So if you run factor analysis, you have total 6 variables, and you got 4 factors out of that. What will you do?
Okay.
Then there will be again problem. If you have many factors, then you can go for that.
Okay. My question was if there is high multicollinearity, for example, if I have taken 8 or 10 variables like that and there is multicollinearity, then can I go for factor analysis and then can I run regression? My question was that.
Sir, after factor analysis, the next step is in itself a regression.
Okay.
So, I would suggest you, as far as my knowledge is concerned, your question is that for 4 factors can be run factor analysis and make them one factor, and others remain as it is. Is your question? Suppose I have x1 to x8 variables, x1 to x8. So x1, 2, 3, 4 have high multicollinearity.
Yes, sir.
So I should make one factor out of these 4 variables, and others will be same as they are because they are not highly correlated. So is this your question?
My question, sir, it is like that only, but my question was can we run factor analysis and can we then, if there are high multicollinearity, to remove high multicollinearity, because your third point is identify the underlying factor. Yeah. That is the third point that you are telling, to remove multicollinearity. So I was thinking that if we run a factor analysis and combine
you are absolutely correct, because if we go for factor analysis, the prerequisite is that the variables must have multicollinearity.
Okay.
If we do not have multicollinearity, we do not go for factor analysis. So the pre-requirement for factor analysis is that. So you
Okay.
can go forward.
Okay. My question was, sir, can we run a factor analysis on secondary data? That was my main
Sir,
concern. Because I have done.
actually, it depends on your objective once again. Satri sir,
Okay.
please mute. Sir, it will depend purely on your objective, because SPSS or any software will not say that this is primary data and this is secondary data. I will not
Okay.
run, factor analysis. This can run, and you can also on secondary
Okay.
data. You can.
Thanks a lot.
There is no
Thanks a
problem.
lot. Thanks a lot, sir.
Next question, Dr. Kavita, you have any question, or somebody else was having any question?
No, sir, I don't have any question.
Okay. Anybody else who has any question before we stop for break?
Excuse me, sir. I have a one.
Yeah, please.
Can you tell what's the difference between in transforming the variables, like logarithm of only variables or logarithm into one place values they take? I mean, what does it mean actually?
Madam, can you repeat your question? I didn't get it.
Sir, like if there is, we have seen like if there is an heteroscedasticity or multicollinearity in transforming the variables, is that it is only enough to take a logarithm values of nominal values, or difference between a logarithm of 1 plus the values, nominal values?
One place means you are talking about I1 series difference.
No, I have seen like in few of the articles, they take like logarithm of 1 plus age of the company. If age is one of the variable which affects the stock prices, like EPS is one of the variable.
Yes, you want to know that we have to take log of all the variables or one variable or some other thing. So
yeah, sir.
you can choose any variable as log variable. Other variable may be the original variable. No issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No
sir.
issue. And hopefully you can recall the PPT. This PPT. It will take some time.
Yes.
You can recall.
Okay.
Okay. So
okay.
the model will be depend on your statistical expression. So in this case, this is linear log. So this value is linear, and this is log.
Yes. Okay.
In this case, log. You have taken log of this, log of this. So it will depend on your specification. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
But it can be. Okay. Any other question before we? Poonam madam. Poonam madam, are you there? Poonam madam. No. Okay. Should we stop for break? Exactly 2:30 we will be joining again. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.